Imagine living a life where your mind is resilient, your heart is content, and your actions are guided by a personal philosophy that brings you peace and fulfillment. That's what Stoic philosophy, and particularly the teachings of Seneca, offer us. A roadmap to mastering life's challenges with strength, clarity, and grace. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, didn't just teach wisdom, he lived it. His letters and essays offer timeless insights into how to strengthen your mind, embrace the present, and find joy in simplicity. In today's episode, we'll explore 10 powerful life lessons from Seneca, lessons that will help you cultivate a stronger mindset, overcome life's struggles, and live a life of purpose and meaning. These aren't abstract ideas. They're practical principles you can apply every day. By the end of this episode, you'll have a clearer understanding of how to find inner peace, live fully in the present, and build a philosophy that guides your life with intention. Let's dive in. Lesson 1. Strengthen your mind every day. Your mind is your most valuable asset. It shapes how you perceive the world, how you react to challenges, and ultimately, how you live your life. But just like a muscle, your mind needs regular exercise to grow stronger and more resilient. If left untrained, it can become vulnerable to stress, negativity, and overwhelm. Strengthening your mind every day is essential if you want to build the mental fortitude to thrive in both good times and bad. A strong mind isn't built overnight. It's cultivated through daily practices that challenge your thinking and expand your perspective. Whether it's reading thought-provoking material, reflecting on your experiences, or engaging in mindfulness, small, consistent actions build mental strength over time. One effective way to train your mind is by intentionally embracing discomfort. Life is unpredictable, and challenges are inevitable. Instead of avoiding discomfort, lean into it. Face difficult tasks head-on, push through moments of doubt, and stay committed when things get tough. Every time you do, you're reinforcing your ability to stay calm and focused under pressure. As Seneca wisely noted, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. This isn't about seeking hardship, but about understanding that growth often comes from struggle. By confronting challenges rather than avoiding them, you build the kind of mental resilience that allows you to remain steady in the face of adversity. Another key practice is mindful learning. Seneca believed in the value of lifelong learning, writing, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." Every day presents an opportunity to learn something new, whether it's gaining insight from a book, reflecting on a personal experience, or listening to someone with a different perspective. When you commit to this practice, you're not just gathering knowledge, you're training your mind to be adaptable, thoughtful, and open to growth. Here's something practical you can do. Each day, take a few minutes to engage in a mental exercise. It could be something simple, like journaling a thought that challenged you, practicing gratitude, or reading a passage that makes you think deeply. The goal isn't to overwhelm yourself, but to consistently train your mind in small, manageable ways. Ask yourself, how am I strengthening my mind today? Whether it's pushing through discomfort, embracing a challenge, or learning something new, these small actions add up over time. The stronger your mind becomes, the more capable you'll be of handling life's inevitable ups and downs. Remember, life is unpredictable, and external events are often beyond your control. But as Seneca taught, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. By committing to strengthening your mind every day, you're not just preparing yourself for challenges, you're building the foundation for a more resilient, peaceful, and fulfilling life. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how your mental strength grows with each passing day. Lesson 2. Embrace healing from within. We all carry emotional burdens, regrets from the past, fears about the future, and self-imposed pressures that weigh us down. These burdens can drain our energy and cloud our ability to live fully in the present. True healing doesn't come from outside, it begins within, by letting go of what no longer serves us and focusing on what we can control in the here and now. One of the greatest obstacles to inner peace is being stuck in the past or paralyzed by anxiety about the future. Many people replay their past mistakes or worry about events that may never happen, but as Seneca wisely pointed out, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have. The lesson here is clear. Healing starts when you stop being held hostage by time, when you release the grip of yesterday's regrets and tomorrow's uncertainties. To embrace healing from within, start by practicing self-compassion. Be kind to yourself as you would to a close friend. We often judge ourselves harshly for mistakes we've made, but holding on to that guilt only prolongs our suffering. Instead, acknowledge your past, learn from it, and allow yourself to move forward. Remember, healing isn't about erasing the past, it's about finding peace with it. Another important step is learning to detach from uncontrollable outcomes. Much of our emotional pain comes from trying to control things beyond our reach. Other people's actions, the future, or even circumstances outside our influence. Seneca reminded us, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Most of our fears never materialize, yet we allow them to dominate our thoughts. By focusing on what's within your control, your mindset, your actions, and your reactions, you can free yourself from unnecessary worry. Here's something practical you can do. The next time you catch yourself dwelling on a past regret or worrying about the future, pause and ask yourself, is this something I can change or control right now? If the answer is no, practice letting it go. Shift your focus back to the present moment by taking a few deep breaths, grounding yourself, and reminding yourself that life happens in the present, not in the past or future. Ask yourself, what burden am I ready to release today? It could be a lingering regret, an unrealistic expectation, or a fear that's been holding you back. Write it down, reflect on it, and make a conscious decision to let it go. This simple act can be incredibly liberating, helping you create space for inner peace and clarity. Remember, healing isn't a destination, it's a process. By embracing healing from within, you're choosing to live with greater freedom, less emotional weight, and more presence. As Seneca taught, happiness and peace come when you stop allowing past wounds and future fears to control your life. The power to heal lies within you. Start by letting go of what no longer serves you, and watch as your inner world begins to transform. Lesson 3. Live in the present. Eat when hungry. Sleep when tired. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in a cycle of overthinking, planning, and worrying. We rush through meals while thinking about work, lie awake at night replaying past events, and often forget to enjoy the simple moments right in front of us. Living in the present may sound like a cliché, but it's one of the most powerful ways to reduce stress and find genuine happiness. Seneca taught that life is best lived when we fully engage with the present moment. He believed that many of our problems arise from dwelling on the past or anxiously anticipating the future. He once wrote, "He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary." In other words, much of the stress we experience isn't from the present. It's from our mind's tendency to live elsewhere, either reliving old pains or worrying about things that haven't happened yet. But what does it mean to live in the present? It means paying attention to what your body and mind need right now, without complicating things unnecessarily. If you're hungry, eat. If you're tired, rest. Simple, right? Yet, how often do we ignore these basic needs because we're caught up in something else? Too busy to eat, too distracted to sleep, or too anxious to enjoy a peaceful moment. Living in the present isn't about neglecting responsibilities or ignoring the future. It's about grounding yourself in the now so you can respond to life with clarity and calmness. When you tune in to what's happening in the present, you create space to fully experience life as it unfolds. You savor your meals instead of rushing through them. You sleep when your body needs rest rather than staying up late scrolling through your phone. And you engage deeply with the people around you instead of being lost in thought. Here's something practical you can do. Today, practice mindful presence during one daily activity. Whether it's eating a meal, walking outside, or simply sitting quietly, focus fully on the experience. Notice the details, the flavors, the sensations, the sounds around you. When your mind starts to wander, as it inevitably will, gently bring it back to the present. Over time, this practice helps train your mind to stay grounded and calm, even in the midst of life's chaos. Ask yourself, am I living right now, or am I stuck in my thoughts about the past or future? If you find yourself elsewhere, take a deep breath, let go of those thoughts, and return to the moment in front of you. Remember, the only time you can truly experience life is in the present. Living in the present is about simplifying your approach to life, doing what needs to be done when it needs to be done, without overcomplicating or overthinking. Eat when you're hungry, sleep when you're tired. Focus on what's right in front of you. By doing this, you reduce unnecessary stress, improve your well-being, and cultivate a deeper sense of contentment. As Seneca said, life is long if you know how to use it, and the best way to use it is by living fully in the present, because that's where life truly happens. Lesson 4. Find fulfillment in your own approval. In a world driven by external validation, likes, praise, promotions, it's easy to fall into the trap of constantly seeking approval from others. We measure our self-worth by how people react to us, whether it's our family, friends, or even strangers. But here's the hard truth. As long as you depend on others for validation, you'll never truly feel fulfilled. Real fulfillment comes when you learn to seek approval from within. When you rely on external validation, you give away your power. You allow others to define your worth and dictate how you feel about yourself. But the problem is, external approval is fleeting. It can be given one moment and taken away the next. If your sense of self is tied to something so fragile, you'll always feel insecure, no matter how much approval you receive. Seneca urged us to cultivate inner strength and self-approval by living according to our own values, not by chasing public praise. He wrote, "What progress have I made? I have begun to be a friend to myself." This is the essence of self-approval, being at peace with who you are, regardless of whether others acknowledge it or not. Finding fulfillment in your own approval starts with knowing your values. What do you stand for? What principles guide your life? When you live in alignment with those values, you don't need external applause. You create an internal sense of pride and satisfaction. You know you're doing what's right, even if no one else notices. Another crucial aspect of self-approval is learning to silence the inner critic. Often, we're our own harshest judges. We replay our mistakes, criticize our flaws, and convince ourselves that we're not good enough. But what if, instead of judging yourself harshly, you chose to be your own biggest supporter? Self-approval doesn't mean ignoring your flaws. It means accepting them while recognizing your worth. Here's something practical you can do. Each day, take a moment to reflect on one thing you did well, something that aligns with your values. It doesn't have to be grand. It could be as simple as showing kindness, being honest, or staying true to a personal commitment. Acknowledge it and remind yourself that your worth isn't dependent on anyone else's opinion. It comes from living authentically. Ask yourself, am I living for my own approval, or am I trying to please others? If you realize you're caught in the cycle of seeking validation, take a step back. Remind yourself that the only approval that truly matters is your own. When you live for yourself, you free yourself from the exhausting need to constantly prove your worth to others. Remember, no one else can give you lasting fulfillment. It must come from within. Seeking approval from others only leaves you vulnerable to their judgments. But when you find fulfillment in your own approval, you become unshakable. You live with integrity, confidence, and inner peace, knowing that you are enough as you are. As Seneca wisely said, "A wise man is content with his own approval." True fulfillment comes when you stop looking outward for validation and start looking inward for strength. You don't need the world's applause to live a meaningful life. You only need your own. Lesson 5. Master the art of contentment. In a world that constantly encourages us to strive for more money, more success, more possessions, it's easy to fall into the trap of never feeling satisfied. The endless pursuit of more leaves many people exhausted, frustrated, and unfulfilled. But true peace and happiness aren't found in having everything. They're found in appreciating what you already have. That's where the art of contentment comes in. Contentment doesn't mean settling for less or giving up on ambition. It means learning to find joy in what's already present in your life. When you focus on what you have instead of obsessing over what's missing, you free yourself from the constant cycle of craving and dissatisfaction. Seneca believed that contentment was the key to true wealth. He wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." In other words, true richness comes from appreciating what you have, not from endlessly chasing what you don't. The problem with always wanting more is that the goalpost keeps moving. Once you achieve one thing, your mind quickly shifts to the next desire. You get the promotion, but now you want a higher position. You buy the new gadget, but a better version comes out. This cycle never ends unless you consciously choose to practice contentment. Mastering contentment starts with gratitude. Take a moment to reflect on what's already good in your life, your health, your relationships, your experiences. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance. It helps you realize that, while you may not have everything, you already have enough to feel fulfilled. Another important step is to redefine success. Modern society often equates success with wealth or status, but real success is about living a life aligned with your values and finding peace within yourself. When you stop measuring your worth by external markers and start valuing things like inner peace, meaningful relationships, and personal growth, contentment becomes more attainable. Here's something practical you can do. Every night before you go to bed, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. Sometimes it's the small things that matter most. Over time, this simple practice trains your mind to focus on what you have rather than what you lack, cultivating a mindset of contentment. Ask yourself, am I constantly chasing more, or am I appreciating what I already have? If you find yourself stuck in the chase, pause and reflect on what's already good in your life. Remind yourself that while ambition can drive progress, contentment brings peace. Mastering the art of contentment doesn't mean you stop growing. It means you stop tying your happiness to future outcomes. You can still strive for more, but from a place of appreciation rather than lack. You can work toward your goals while remaining grounded in the present, finding joy in the journey rather than waiting for a distant destination to bring you happiness. As Seneca wisely said, "If you live according to nature, you will never be poor. If you live according to opinion, you will never be rich." Contentment isn't about having everything. It's about realizing that you already have enough. And when you master that realization, you unlock a deeper sense of joy, peace, and fulfillment. Lesson 6. Enrich your life by living for others. In a world where individualism is often glorified, it's easy to focus solely on personal goals, ambitions, and desires. But true fulfillment doesn't come from living just for yourself. It comes from contributing to the well-being of others. When you shift your mindset from "what can I get" to "what can I give?" swing, you enrich your life in ways that material success alone never could. Living for others doesn't mean neglecting your own needs or becoming a people-pleaser. It means finding purpose in acts of kindness, compassion, and service. Whether it's supporting a friend, mentoring someone, or contributing to a cause you believe in, these actions give your life deeper meaning. Seneca believed that by helping others, we also help ourselves. He wrote, "No man can live happily who considers himself alone and turns everything to his own advantage. You must live for your neighbor if you would live for yourself." This reflects a timeless truth. When you uplift others, you also elevate your own spirit. Acts of kindness don't have to be grand gestures. Sometimes the smallest actions, offering a listening ear, giving encouragement, or simply being present, can have a profound impact on someone's life. And the beauty of living for others is that it creates a ripple effect. Your kindness inspires others to act in kind, spreading positivity and connection. Living for others also helps you break free from self-centered thinking, which is often a source of anxiety and dissatisfaction. When you focus solely on your own problems, they can seem overwhelming. But when you step outside yourself and engage in helping others, you gain perspective. You realize that life is bigger than your individual struggles, and this shift in focus brings a sense of peace and purpose. Here's something practical you can do. Each day, look for one small way to contribute to someone else's well-being. It could be as simple as offering genuine praise, lending a hand, or sending a thoughtful message. These small acts of service, when done consistently, cultivate a mindset of generosity and connection. Ask yourself, how am I enriching the lives of those around me? If you find that your focus has been inward lately, take a moment to shift your attention outward. Remember, you don't have to change the world in one day. Start with the people around you. When you live with the intention to serve, even in small ways, you create a life that feels more meaningful. It's also important to recognize that living for others doesn't mean ignoring your own growth. In fact, the two go hand in hand. By being the best version of yourself, stronger, wiser, and more compassionate, you're better equipped to support those around you. As Seneca taught, the greatest gift you can offer the world is your own well-developed character. Remember, life isn't just about what you achieve. It's about the impact you have on those around you. When you live for others, you don't lose yourself. You expand yourself. You create a life filled with connection, meaning, and fulfillment, where every action, no matter how small, contributes to a greater sense of purpose. As Seneca wisely noted, "He who serves others serves himself." By enriching the lives of others, you also enrich your own. So take a step today. Offer kindness, extend compassion, and live with the intention to give. In doing so, you'll find that a life lived for others is a life well lived. Lesson 7. Conquer life's struggles with courage. Life is full of struggles, some big, some small, but all inevitable. Whether it's facing personal setbacks, external challenges, or moments of self-doubt, one thing is certain: you cannot avoid life's difficulties, but you can choose how to face them. And the key to facing them lies in one word: courage. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the ability to act despite it. It's what enables you to keep moving forward, even when the odds seem stacked against you. Too often, people avoid challenges because they fear failure, discomfort, or judgment. But avoiding struggle doesn't eliminate it, it only postpones it. By choosing to face life's challenges head-on, you build strength, resilience, and confidence. Seneca believed that courage was essential for personal growth. He taught that adversity is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced as an opportunity to grow stronger. He wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor strengthens the body." Every struggle you face is a chance to develop mental fortitude and become a better version of yourself. Facing life's struggles with courage starts with changing your mindset. Instead of viewing obstacles as barriers, see them as tests of your strength. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this challenge? How can this make me stronger? This simple shift in perspective transforms struggles from something to avoid into something to conquer. Another key to developing courage is taking small, consistent steps toward difficult things. Courage isn't built in a day. It's built over time, one small act at a time. Whether it's having a tough conversation, stepping out of your comfort zone, or committing to a goal that feels daunting, every courageous act strengthens your ability to face bigger challenges in the future. Here's something practical you can do. The next time you're faced with a difficult situation, take a moment to pause and acknowledge your fear. Then ask yourself, what's one small action I can take right now to move forward? It doesn't have to be a huge leap. Sometimes just taking the first step is enough to build momentum. Over time, these small acts of courage add up, making you more resilient in the face of future struggles. Ask yourself, am I avoiding this struggle because of fear, or am I ready to face it with courage? If fear is holding you back, remind yourself that courage isn't about eliminating fear. It's about acting despite it. Remember, every great achievement in life began with someone willing to take a risk, face discomfort, and keep going despite uncertainty. Courage also means accepting failure as part of the process. No one succeeds without setbacks, and no one grows without stumbling along the way. When you embrace failure as a necessary part of learning, You free yourself from the fear of it. You become willing to try, to risk, and to grow. As Seneca wisely noted, brave men rejoice in adversity, just as brave soldiers triumph in war. Remember, life's struggles are not meant to break you, they're meant to shape you. By choosing to face them with courage, you become stronger, more confident, and more capable of handling whatever comes your way. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start becoming the author of your own story. So, the next time life presents you with a challenge, don't back down. Stand tall, take a breath, and move forward. Each step you take, no matter how small, is a victory. And with every victory, you build the courage to face whatever life throws at you next. Lesson 8. Be the anchor you seek in life. It's natural to seek stability, someone or something to ground us when things get tough. Whether it's a mentor, a trusted friend, or a role model, we look to others for guidance, strength, and wisdom. But here's an important truth. While having anchors in your life is valuable, the most reliable anchor you can have is yourself. By learning to be your own source of stability, you become less dependent on external circumstances or people to feel secure. Being your own anchor doesn't mean isolating yourself or refusing help. It means cultivating the inner strength to remain calm, clear, and grounded, no matter what's happening around you. Life is unpredictable. People may come and go, and external circumstances will always change. But when you develop the ability to anchor yourself, you gain a sense of control over your inner world, even when the outer world feels chaotic. Seneca wrote, "It is a rough road that leads to the heights of greatness." Life's difficulties aren't something to avoid, they're something to navigate, and the stronger your anchor, the better you can weather those storms. Being your own anchor means developing habits that support your mental and emotional well-being, practicing mindfulness, reflecting on your values, and building resilience through small, consistent actions. At the same time, it's important to find and learn from other anchors, people who embody the qualities you wish to develop. Whether it's a mentor who guides you or a friend who listens without judgment, surrounding yourself with grounded individuals helps you grow. But instead of relying solely on them, strive to become that anchor for others as well. By offering stability and support to those around you, you reinforce your own strength and create deeper, more meaningful connections. Here's something practical you can do. The next time you feel overwhelmed, take a moment to pause and center yourself. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and remind yourself, I am my own anchor. I can remain calm and steady, no matter what's happening around me. This simple practice helps ground you in the present moment and strengthens your ability to handle life's challenges with clarity. Ask yourself, am I looking for someone else to anchor me, or am I learning to be my own anchor? If you find that you're overly dependent on external validation or support, take small steps to cultivate your inner strength. Journaling, meditation, and reflecting on past challenges you've overcome can help reinforce your sense of self-reliance. Being the anchor you seek doesn't mean you have to have all the answers or never feel uncertain. It means trusting yourself to navigate uncertainty with grace. It's about showing up for yourself, being patient with your growth, and standing firm in your values, even when life feels shaky. Remember, while others can offer support, true stability comes from within. By becoming your own anchor, you create a foundation of strength that can't be shaken by external events. And when you combine that inner strength with the wisdom and support of trusted mentors and friends, you create a life of balance, resilience, and deeper purpose. So seek strength from others, but don't forget to build it within yourself. Be the anchor you seek, not just for your own well-being, but for those around you. When you learn to stand firm, you inspire others to do the same, and together you create a world where stability, wisdom, and strength are shared. Lesson 9. Expand your life beyond time. Live fully. Time is one of life's greatest illusions. We often measure our lives by the number of years we've lived or the milestones we've achieved. But living a meaningful life isn't about how long you live. It's about how fully you live. It's about expanding your experiences, deepening your connections, and making every moment count, rather than simply counting the moments. Many people fall into the trap of delaying happiness. They tell themselves, "I'll be happy when I achieve this goal," or "I'll enjoy life once I've reached a certain point." But life isn't something you can put on hold. Every day that passes is a day you won't get back, and postponing joy only leads to regret. The key is to live fully now, rather than waiting for some future version of happiness that may never come. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." His point is clear. Most people don't lack time, they lack presence. They spend their days distracted, focused on trivial matters, or consumed by worries about the past and future. By choosing to live fully in each moment, you make the most of your time, no matter how long or short it may be. Living fully doesn't mean chasing every thrill or constantly seeking excitement. It means being present in your life and engaging deeply with what matters most. Whether it's spending quality time with loved ones, pursuing a passion, or simply savoring a quiet moment, living fully is about depth, not duration. It's about experiencing life in its richness and variety, rather than rushing through it on autopilot. Here's something practical you can do. At the end of each day, reflect on one moment where you felt fully alive. It could be a simple conversation, a task you completed with focus, or a moment of peace you experienced while alone. Over time, this practice trains your mind to seek out and appreciate moments of fullness in everyday life. Ask yourself, am I truly living, or am I merely existing? If you find that you're caught up in routines or distractions, make a conscious effort to slow down and engage more deeply with the present. Whether it's putting your phone away during a meal or taking a walk without distractions, these small shifts help you expand your life beyond time by making each moment count. Another powerful way to live fully is to pursue meaning, not just pleasure. While pleasure is fleeting, meaning gives life depth and purpose. Find what brings meaning to your life, whether it's creating something, helping others, or growing as a person, and devote yourself to it. When you live with purpose, time feels less like a constraint and more like an opportunity. Remember, life isn't measured by the number of breaths you take, but by the moments that take your breath away. By choosing to live fully, you expand your life beyond the ticking clock. You create a life rich in experience, connection, and meaning. A life where no matter how much time you have, you truly feel alive. As Seneca said, life is long if you know how to use it. So stop waiting for the right moment to start living. The right moment is now. Expand your life by being present, finding meaning, and savoring each experience as it comes. Because in the end, it's not about how much time you have, it's about how fully you choose to live. Lesson 10. Craft your own life philosophy. Every great life is built on a solid foundation of principles, a personal philosophy that guides your actions, shapes your decisions, and helps you stay grounded amidst life's chaos. Without a clear philosophy, you're likely to be swayed by external opinions, fleeting emotions, or societal pressures. But when you take the time to craft your own life philosophy, you create a compass that helps you navigate life with confidence and clarity. A life philosophy isn't something rigid or overly complex. It's a set of personal values and beliefs that define how you approach challenges, relationships, and personal growth. It's what keeps you aligned with your true self, even when external circumstances are unpredictable. When you live according to a well-crafted philosophy, you're less likely to be thrown off course by setbacks or influenced by the opinions of others. Seneca emphasized the importance of defining your principles and living by them. He wrote, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." Without clear direction, it's easy to drift through life, reacting to events rather than acting with purpose. But when you know your destination, when you've crafted a philosophy that reflects your core values, you can steer your life with intention, no matter what winds blow your way. To begin crafting your life philosophy, start by asking yourself these key questions. 1. What do I stand for? Identify the core values that matter most to you: honesty, compassion, growth, courage, or any other principles that resonate deeply with you. 2. What brings meaning to my life? Reflect on the people, activities, and goals that give your life purpose. Your philosophy should help you prioritize these meaningful aspects. 3. How do I want to respond to challenges? Life will always have its share of difficulties. Crafting a philosophy means deciding in advance how you'll approach adversity, with resilience, patience, or perhaps a sense of humor. Here's something practical you can do. Take a few minutes today to write down a short personal manifesto, just a few sentences that summarize your guiding principles. For example, I will focus on what I can control, live with integrity, and seek growth in every situation. I will treat others with kindness and respect, but I won't compromise my own values to gain approval. This simple exercise helps clarify your philosophy and gives you a reference point whenever life feels uncertain. Ask yourself, am I living by my own principles, or am I being influenced by external forces? If you find that you're often acting out of fear, pressure, or the desire to please others, take a step back. Remind yourself of your philosophy and use it as a guide to make decisions that align with your true self. Crafting your own life philosophy doesn't mean you have all the answers. It means you have a framework that helps you make better choices, stay true to your values, and find meaning in the everyday. Your philosophy can evolve over time as you grow and learn, but its core principles should remain rooted in what matters most to you. Remember, the world is full of distractions and noise, but when you live by clear philosophy, you create a sense of inner peace and direction. You're no longer living at the mercy of external events. You're living with purpose, intention, and authenticity. As Seneca wisely said, "Hold fast to this sound and wholesome rule of life, that you indulge the body only as far as is needed for health." The soul, however, must be trained to endure hardship and rise above difficult circumstances. By crafting your own life philosophy, you empower yourself to live not according to the whims of the world, but according to the principles that bring you lasting fulfillment. Take control of your life, define your values, craft your philosophy, and let it guide you toward a life of meaning, strength, and true purpose. Life is unpredictable, full of challenges, joys, and everything in between. But what makes the difference between simply existing and truly thriving is how you choose to live. The lessons we've explored today, strengthening your mind, finding contentment, embracing courage, living fully, and crafting your own life philosophy, are more than just ideas. They're principles that, when applied, can help you build a life of clarity, strength, and purpose. Remember, these lessons aren't about perfection. They're about progress, taking small, consistent steps each day toward becoming the person you want to be. You don't need to master everything overnight. Start with one lesson, one habit, one change, and build from there. Over time, those small efforts will transform the way you think, act, and live. Ask yourself, what's one lesson from today's episode that I can start applying right now? It could be letting go of unnecessary comparisons, setting clearer boundaries, or simply taking a moment to reflect on what truly matters to you. Whatever it is, commit to it, because real change starts with action. As Seneca wisely taught, life is long if you know how to use it. The key isn't in trying to control everything, but in learning to control yourself, your mind, your reactions, and your choices. When you live intentionally, guided by your values, you create a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling, no matter what circumstances you face. Thank you for joining us on this journey through 10 life lessons from Seneca. If these insights resonated with you, take a moment to reflect, apply what you've learned, and share this episode with someone who might benefit from it. Together, we can build a community of individuals committed to living with purpose, resilience, and wisdom. Until next time, stay grounded, stay intentional, and most importantly, lead your life with courage and clarity.